Hope you all are having a very good day. Welcome to Real Madrid Graduate School. We are very happy to connect today to host this live sport event management in COVID pandemic, this debate, this discussion, in order to provide you a very good sample and a taste of the kind of discussion that we have in our school and especially in our MBA. I would like to thank you, all of you who has connected with us. We have people from Uruguay, Canada, Chile, Venezuela, United States, all over the world. And I know afterwards, maybe you are watching it in our YouTube channel. So I would like to thank you all anywhere you are. As I said, today is about to enhance the discussion about sport event management, especially under these such atypical and special circumstances that we are all living in. And we have the pleasure to bring some very important professionals from the sport industry. Professionals that help us in the MBA as professors, as alumni, as collaborators. And we would like to provide you and to give you a taste of our MBA. Our MBA is one of the programs that we have in Real Madrid Graduate School, a business-oriented program where we try to offer a wide perspective of the sport industry, business-oriented, where we talk about different matters of this industry, coming from general management, finance, operations, marketing. And I would like that you guys, if you don't have much information about the MBA, take advantage of today's section to take a look to our webpage and ask our team regarding more information that we'll be more than happy to provide to you. Our MBA is ranked in top 10 by Sport Business publication in post-graduation in the world. We are top 3 in Europe, and we are leading this rank in Spain. And all these very good results that we are able to show to our community is due to the amazing professionals and students that we have been able to have over these past years. We're gonna provide you this small sample of those kind of professionals. We have today 3 very good examples. 2 of them are professors, Juan Cantero, Angel Sanz, and one is alumni and a collaborator of the MBA, Massimo Benassi. This first part of this event, we're gonna listen to them individually. They're gonna share with us what they've been doing regarding sports events during the pandemic. Very good examples how to cope with the pandemic and keep going forward, keep offering experience in the sport industry. And at the second part, we're gonna have a round table remotely to pass them your questions. So please use the chat to any questions that you might have, and you might to listen to them. I'm gonna be here to mediate and pass the questions to our guest speakers. So no more delays. You are not here to listen to me, you are here to listen to our special guest. So let me start with our professor Juan Cantero. Juan Cantero is the founder, director of Meta Final, a consulting firm which provides services in the sport industry related to ticketing, sponsorship, sports events, and so on. Juan is also a match day director at La Liga, the Spanish football league. And as I said, he's a professor in our MBA, talking about ticketing, pricing, and match day. Juan, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you very much. And please,
Thanks
if
to
you
you.
can share with us what you've been doing, Metafinal, helping us in our events and hosting some special events in the Basque Country, we would appreciate a lot.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Paulo, for the introduction. It's a pleasure to me to spend this talk with you guys, also with Angel and Massimo. Well, as part of the of Real Madrid School, for sure, the this pandemic is at the beginning 1 year ago. It was like a very challenging process because we didn't know anything about what was going to happen. And well, from the beginning in our company in Metafinal, we had to reconsider our positioning because one of our main product is ticketing services, but ticketing services from the experience point of view. And well, we didn't know when is the public is going to come back to the arenas, to the stadiums. So well, we start talking with client and say, well, we have to stop everything and we have to restart when possible. But the thing is that month by month, this stop, and we don't have a lot of information, and we still didn't know what is going to happen in the upcoming month. For sure, it's look like this season. It looks like we are going to finish this way without people in the stadiums, and well, and we need to rethink in our services. Also, we before the lockdown, we organized the summit Las Stations for Business, the first edition in Vitoria, which is a congress focusing in the sport industry, but missing the local purpose with the national approach, which is very good. And we had the luck to be in 2020, the last even before the lockdown. And we start thinking in the second edition, which have been now the 25th of of January the 2021. So last summer we in our company we thought what we are going to do. We are going to start planning the next event or not, and we say okay, we have to start working on that because we don't know what is going to happen. But if we stop now and we wait to see what's going to happen, we are not going to have time to organize everything in the last weeks. So we start working in thinking that we were going to do the event without no doubt. The only thing that we did was having a second date in case that we had another lockdown. So in 6 months in advance, we start working like thinking that nothing was happening, but with the focus also thinking in the COVID measures that we and the COVID restriction that we need to provide to the public for having attendees and having public in this event. So the first message that we start to tell to the sponsors, to the institutions in our social media was saying we are going to do that, but our first flag is the COVID measures, and we have to show that, and we have to make visible for everybody that our event was going to be a safety event, because otherwise we were not going to be we are going to we were not going to be able to create the behavior and the thinking the people that they have to come to the event. So at the end we get 300 people in our event, but also we need to add something extra like streaming the transmission for the people that were not for them was not possible to attend to Victoria. Was the participant in the event. We we mixed in the stage during the whole day in our congress different 30 professional in the sport industry, people from different clubs, from Deportivo Alaves, from Atleti Club Bilbao, from Real Sociedad, from Osasuna, from the Royal Spanish Football Federation, from the EuroLeague basketball, and also we have to convince them to be part of our event. And then here the main problem was to convince the club because people wanted to come. The participants on stage wanted to come. The speakers, they want to come. But it was a very difficult task to convince them, their clubs, their companies, to be part on it because they were showing that they are in some event. But in our approach is like we need to make everything roll, everything happen. Uh, I said before in the social media during 3-4 months we were talking about COVID measures, but once the people attend into the event, they need to see that the measures were there. We have fever cameras, we have the separation in the seats, we have gloves from all the staff. We need to create an app for the people to don't touch the process. The work, it was 3 times more that we used to do in the previous in the last congress, but at the end we were able to do it. So what I think we need to be courage to go ahead and to keep doing. And I suppose Massimo and Angel will tell that there is some point that some people say you are crazy. Why you don't stop? We don't stop because we think that we need to keep pushing with interest in doing the things well, but keep pushing. At the end, with the event, the conclusion is we make our industry still being there. Our congress is a small congress, but people from 10 different countries attend through in the streaming. People coming from all the Spain came to Vitoria just for our event, and at the end, well, this is the benefit we get. We are pushing our industry, and we are building our industry in a good way. And now to finish and pushing and to tell about the trip that we did join with the university to different clubs to the Basque Country 3 weeks ago, I think, Paulo, if I not wrong. Um, we are organizing this trip with the university in the last 6-7 years, I think, and we are visiting different clubs. In here also we had the problem that to convince the club to receive people from outside, also with different measure. But the problem for the club is that now they have to take ahead the protocol from La Liga, in which the stadiums are need to be closed. At least the one of the areas is that is the green area is in where is the player during the game and all these things. So, but at the end, the same. We could do it with more efforts. Also, Paulo and people from the university can say that we need to do a great effort, but we need to adapt and we need to keep working for making things happen. And I think this is the line that we need to follow, and it's very difficult. But we don't know when this nightmare is going to happen. But for sure, we need to be ready. And this is one of the values that also as an alumni of the university 12 years ago, I have from the university. Keep pushing, keep keep working hard, and encourage that also with a good teamwork for because alone is impossible. And in my opinion, this is what we have to do. The efforts for make things happen. Well, this is more or less my approach about how we have adapted to this situation, how the results in our company have been also adapted to the pandemic. And the question is, when is this pandemic is going to happen to finish? We don't know, but we can stay ready. This is what I recommend.
Perfect, Juan. Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you again.
Thanks to you.
Juan was a very important part of the coordination of our trip that we were able to do with this year's group of our MBA in sports management. And as he said, it demanded a lot of effort, a lot of planning. I can highlight some of the sentences of one. The amount of work to organize the Gasteiz sports business, for example, he mentioned was 3 times bigger than the previous years without COVID. And the pandemic has imposed us have a plan B or have an alternative plan. I think it's also something that you guys should, that are watching us, should have in mind. I think this crisis, the pandemic, brought a lot of lessons to the industry, not just the sport industry, but the economy as a whole, and trying to plan in advance, having alternatives, and work harder and more. It's something that helped us to cope with the pandemic. Going forward in our presentation and the speakers that we're gonna have today, I'll have the pleasure to introduce and to present Angel Sanz as Juan Cantero. Angel is a professor of our MBA, a collaborator. Normally, we also have internships as we have with Juan at his company, with Angel as well. Angel is the country manager in Spain for Spartan Race. For all of you that are interested in the sport industry, you should know about the Spartan Race. The Spartan Race is the leading company in sport of obstacle racing. Angel is also involved in many other projects related to the sport industry, in football, in basketball, and so on. And it always a pleasure to have Angel with us. Angel, thank you again to this another collaboration, and we are eager to listen to you and what you have been doing in Spartan regarding the pandemic.
Thank you, Paulo, Juan, Massimo, hi, and thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be able to express really to those people who are interested in sports. Well, at least to have an idea on what's going on, because at the end, what we realize is that this change is not something that can be done by just one person or one organization, and that's what that was the first thing that we understood, is that I mean, as Juan said at the beginning, many things happening. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how deep it was. I mean, the lack of real information, I think, has been the first main problem that we have. And we have had to cope with not only what we knew, but also what we thought we knew, and what we knew that we didn't know. And one of the things that we realize also is that sports for us is the world, is our life, is everything. But when we were talking here about this pandemic, and you talk to politicians, to talk to the health authorities, for them sport is a small thing, and we are not a priority, and that's a reality. Actually we had to speak up in many ways, saying that sports was not part of the problem, but was part of the solution, and that's something that I mean now is being proven. That not only on the health part, on people who are healthier and actually took care of themselves, were less damaged by the virus, but also outdoors sports, outdoor activity were less likely to be infected and all those things. So I think that what has happened in the first place is that this situation has put sports into and we've been kind of seen as part of the problem because of the impact, right? But not part of the solution. For us, having events, having races, having well, a lot of people, big events with a lot of people attending, big attendance, like football and many others, that put us even in a worse scenario, where we were kind of dangerous, and then we were seen, and the people making decisions, mainly politicians, were not ready at all, didn't have enough information, and they have not been, let's say, known for being the most efficient and the most educated people to do this. We have had to overcome this huge obstacle. In our case, being an obstacle race is even funnier, but we have had to prove not only that we could do safe events, but actually doing events were better for everybody. So we have to first reshape the event, and second, reshape the business model, right? That's been our two positions. One, at the beginning of the pandemic, after March last year, the first thing that we have to do is show to the world. I mean, in this case, when we always say that Spartan is more than an event, or what Juan was saying, is when they were not selling tickets, they were selling experiences, right? So you are more than a ticket. Well, in our case, we took it in a positive way, without knowing which will be the end of the story. It's just proving to our people, not only our community, which I'll talk about in a minute, but also actually proving to the business, proving to the people that Spartan is more than an event. And the best opportunity that you have to show that you are more than an event is when you add value when you have no events. And that was the first 3-4 months. That was our main target. Having a lot of digital activity, having a lot of movement and activation in our community, and focusing on the process, which is let's stay fit, even though we are in our houses. Let's generate content that inspires you on this overcoming obstacles, which is our essence, and actually we did very well. We actually increased our community, we increased our digital experience, we increased the interaction with our sponsors, and which was for us was really a very important issue, because that the second derivative on this is that sponsors didn't want to be related with something that could be perceived as a danger. For example, one funny thing that happened with Coca-Cola, which was not a sponsor of us last year, but they sent a message to all the events that they were sponsoring in Spain, saying that please do not show my logo in your events. I mean, please move me away. So actually, what we have had is a situation where we were thinking that we were part of the solution, and we were seen as part of the problem by the sponsors, by the health authorities, and also, that good thing that have sports on having this projection, became against us because, of course, we have that projection. So when we do something that seems to be a danger, everybody will be blaming on everybody else. So we did well on this, creating this digital experience, digital movement, while we didn't have events. The second big issue for us was all these refund policies. Just for you to understand that if you go to a country that has some a corralito like Argentina, and everybody goes to the bank to get the money out of the bank account, the system will collapse. Same thing will happen with the events. If everybody has asked for a refund, the system will collapse. So Spartan in worldwide had a no refund policy because we were changing, all the registrations for following races. That created a big issue also, because everybody was aware of all this. Everybody wants the money back. Everybody, they don't want to listen to anything but give my money back. Right? That was a big damage in Spain, especially for our brand, and we have to handle it in a way. We were fighting big time with Spartan HQ, with Spartan in Europe, and we were able 3 months later to actually change that policy to the favor of the Spanish clients. That really gave us a big push on seeing that here a Spanish organization is defending our interest, right? But during that process, it was a funny situation where we were just working hard to get things better. On the other hand, just being able to handle all these claims in many ways, they were right. So that was the second part. The third part was our big aim was, like Juan was saying, let's do an event. Let's prove wrong. Let's prove people wrong. Let's prove that this is possible. And that's what we did. We were able to we moved one race in Andorra from June to September. And we were negotiating with the government of Andorra, and we created a protocol that actually made this event possible. And it happened in September last year. So actually, it was the big event, big sport event in this case, with registrations happening in Europe. Actually, we received a letter from the European government congratulating us, Andorra, and Encamp, which was the city hall where we was held. It was held, and it was perfect because we proved to the world that this could happen, right? So that gave for us was a change of fate. It changed everything into this is possible. Our community went there, they experienced it, and it was perfect. We invested a lot of money on video production just to prove the world that this was happening and that it was possible. So that was perfect. After September, it went very well, but then it came December, where we were having the European Championship, which was cancelled in Austria and was moved to our race in Tenerife. And the reason, and we had the support of the regional government, on this case of Tenerife Island, the Cabildo. And we were just doing it, following all the protocols, following everything that we had done. And actually the reason why they took us there, because we proved that it was possible. And then everything ready. Actually, some of the MBA students came over to be part of the event and to live the experience with us and learn. And what they learned was not really how the event was done, because it was canceled the day before, actually 20 hours before the start hour. So we lived everything. We have lived the change of model. The change of management with the community, being able to do an event on COVID times, and actually being cancel an event 20 hours before the event happened. I will not get into a lot of details on this one, but mainly was a political issue, a mismanagement of the politicians that we were able to In that case, we were not able to overcome, and over 4,000 people actually came to the island and couldn't race. And it was a huge drawback to us as a brand, to us as a team, and to us, to us as part of the world of sports. But also gave us a huge view on how things happen, why things happen, the key elements that you have to touch on this one. And even with that, that you cannot trust. And this is not an easy way of you cannot trust politicians. That's beyond that. That there are, what I mean by this is that there are many interests which go beyond sports. It's not a sports thing. It's, in this case, it's a politician thing where, which I was talking to the government over there, is that sometimes they kidnap the argument of health to kill other activities, in our case, to kill the sport. And so that happened. We have to go through it. It was a huge drawback of €500,000 in our bank account. But the good thing on this one, which is our approach on this one, is that we were able to actually leverage on that. And we were able to talk to the regional government again. We were able to actually redo our business model, which mainly was less focused on sports. It will not change. This will not change tomorrow. This will not change in 6 months. This will not change in 1 year. And when it changes, it will change gradually. It will not change from overnight. So we reshaped our business model, by which, for you to have an idea, the investment that we do in every event is around 300,000, between 300 and 350,000 euros. That's the investment that we make. That means that at least we need to have an attendance of 4,200 registration to break even. That will not happen in the short future, in the near future. What we can expect to have is 1,500, 2,000, maybe 3,000 if we're lucky. So that, and sponsorship is not just boosting, it will come back, but it will also take time. So if our events will not be able to subsist with all or we have two choices: either try to increase the number of registrations, which will not happen overnight. Second, trying to decrease the investment on the event, which is something that we don't think makes any sense. People pay what they pay because they get what they get. So what we just reconsider is, in the business model, is we will need to go to destinations where they're willing to pay an amount that is enough so we can offset the lack of income that we're going to have on the less registration or less sponsorship. And that means that we have to reshape our product as a touristic product and be a destination race. So that's what has happened. In 2021, the first event will be Andorra in June, which is a touristic support. Second event will be Madrid, touristic support by the community. Third event will be Mallorca, that we've shifted from March to at the end of October, which will have touristic support. And hopefully we'll have one last event at the end of November, which also will have touristic support. And I think that's the way. Understanding what value we add in our case is the power of generating a destination event. Go to places where now they need to bring people in, like Tenerife did in December, or Madrid, or Mallorca, or Andorra. Bring people in adds value, which means that somebody will be able to, or will be willing to invest in having a product like ours, and put the sports into a place where the value can be capitalized. In this case, is you invest 100,000 or 200,000, like the government of Andorra, and they have a return approximately of 1 million. It's a straight in return on people spending money in the country, plus the projection, plus the promotion, and plus the impact, the media impact, right? So that's kind of the summary. We have to do what we have to do. We have to understand the value of our product, the value of Spartan, which is first a huge community, Second, a product that can be adapted into the tourism strategy of any region or of any country. And third, being able to prove that we are more than a race. We always say that the event is like the prom party of your last high school year, and we have to focus on the process of what you live in the high school year until you go to the prom. So that's what we did, and it's worked so far. We have been able to not having to fire anybody in the team. We have been able to actually create some income streams that have helped us to stay alive. And now the big challenge is that before this COVID, we used to sell our events 9 months ahead. Now people will not buy you up front. And that is a huge change on the business model. People need to understand, and that's on us to actually communicate that way, that if they don't buy tickets up front, events will be canceled, and that we need to actually all of us together, do our part. If we make people understand this and they just want the sport industry to stay and to keep going, if they do the part of the job, we have to do our part of the job, and just probably in 2-3 years time, hopefully we'll come back to where we were before. That's my first part of the story. Happy to get into this round table and discuss whatever you think is more interesting, Paulo.
Amazing, Angel. Thank you very much to share with us this first part. After Massimo present his experience and what they've been doing in Visa, we're gonna be able to answer all the questions that you are sending us through the chat. We're already getting it. So I just want to point it up some important phrases of Angel, and he said very well that, for example, sports is our world, is our life, but for some stakeholders and for instance, government, politicians, sports are not a priority. And I think the pandemic highlight this point to us. And he also mentioned that even like during the first month of the pandemic, there was a lot of uncertainty around the sports events. So even sponsors were afraid to be associated to sport events. And finally, this amazing part of reshaping the Spartan Race project to be a destination project, to boost, to use Spartan Race as a boost for tourism in certain destinations. So thank you a lot, Angel, to share that with us. So now, we have also the pleasure to have with us Massimo Benatti. Massimo is the business development manager at Unión Deportiva Ibiza, UD Ibiza. Ibiza is a third division club here in Spain. However, Ibiza has over this time, this last, I would say, 3 years, presenting such innovative ways to manage or to have a business model in a modest division, and showing the football industry that they are willing to fight for a more important role, and I'm certain in the near future they will be fighting for top positions in the first and second division here in Spain. Massimo, apart to be the business development manager in Ibiza, is also alumni from the school. Personally, I had the pleasure to attend to this exactly MBA 4 years ago in the same group with Massimo, so it's always a pleasure to have a collaboration with Massimo and with Ibiza. Massimo, thank you a lot to be with us in this section today, and thank you to share what you guys in Ibiza have been doing to cope with the pandemic.
Thanks. Let's present a little bit this club. This club is a club that were created brandly new in 2015 by Amadeo Salvo, that was the former president of Valencia Club de Football. And the club started in 2015 from the bottom of the Spanish football, and we are at the moment in the third division of the Spanish football. What they say about us, they say that we are the coolest club in the world, and our motto is climbing to the top, because we started from the bottom and we want to climb the top and reach the top of the Spanish football. So imagine that in October 19, we were 10 points behind the first club in our league. And in January 2020, we have the opportunity and the honor to play in Copa del Rey, the Spanish Football Cup, against Barcelona. So this huge event that no one in the island have ever seen before. And just before this COVID broke everything. And in March 2020, we were in Mallorca playing a derby against Atletico Baleares, and we won that derby. And at that moment, we were 2 points far away from the team that were top of the league in that moment. So everything was going to be great and amazing, playing the playoff to go in second division and so on. But after 1 week, the Spanish Football Federation stopped everything, and La Liga too, of course. So we had to, let's say, change our plan, but with our values and our objectives still clear. So what we did during the quarantine, every one of us were at his home, at his place. And one of the first objectives and goals that we had was, let's say, link our club and our brand with the music scene of Ibiza. So in that moment, we thought that what was a better idea than organize a almost 24 hours event of DJ set, where every single club and disco in Ibiza took part. So we start contacting IMS, that is one of the biggest festival music event that is happening here in Ibiza all the summer. And with them, we start contacting DJs, like from Luciano, from Sebastian Gamboa, Pete Tong, Paco Suna. And we had the pleasure to have also David Guetta to play for us for this event. And that's what we did. So basically, the event had a worldwide coverage. It was almost a 24 hours DJ set. And one of the most important thing, because as Angel said before, sponsors now are really selecting the events that they are partnering with. So every fund that was raised during this event, and with a Okay, so then what we did was the documental with DAZN. We started working with DAZN before the pandemic, and this took like almost 2 years of work, and the last one was basically during COVID.
Sorry,
Again,
sorry, Massimo. We just had an issue with your audio. If you can come back, and when you were explaining the IMS, because we lost your audio for a second.
Okay, so from here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, here is what we did, linking football with music. We put DJs in like a football lineup, and we create like posters like we did, like we do on match days, to do advertisement for our matches. Another big project that we are now launching alongside with DAZN is the documental that is called Club Ibiza. Is exclusive on DAZN, and we had the pleasure to have Carl Cox creating for us an exclusive soundtrack, again because we want to link our brand with the entertainment and with the lifestyle that Ibiza can tell to the people. So if you have time, go on, subscribe to the zone, and you can watch the entire documental. So why we did this with the zone and not with other OTT platform? Because the zone, like us, it's especially in Europe and especially in Spain, is a rising OTT platform. It's not like established like Netflix or Prime Video. At the moment, the documental has more than 800,000 views. In this case, the view is calculated on more than 2 minutes, not like, for example, YouTube, that it calculate one view after 2 or 3 seconds. And it's available worldwide in more than 200 countries. Again, like quickly, in the stadium, we had a lot of issue because suddenly this summer we were told, okay, we maybe people can go to the stadiums because the rules and the law is different in third division than La Liga. So we had to change our ticketing software in order to have a professional database, in order to obtain data from every single fan that we have, and especially in order to be able to change the capacity, let's say, of the stadium, because in one match we were able to put 1,500, in another one we were able to put only 500. So we had to control all of these with a software that it's not the normal one that every third division club in Spain could use. So these for us were all new challenges, and this meant for us a really huge impact on social media and in the streaming of the matches. So at the moment, like we have on Instagram more followers than club in second division, and in YouTube we have, for example, more followers and views than clubs that are in first division or second division. One big part of this in the stadium was that the Spanish Cup that we hosted 3 times during this season. We played twice against a team of first division of La Liga. So in that moment we had to reshape and remodel all of our COVID measure, because the rules of the Spanish Football Federation this season says that if you play against a team of the first division, you have to do and follow the same COVID measure that they are following in La Liga. So it was a big challenge, but of course we had to do it. And in the game in January against Celta de Vigo, we had the pleasure of beating them 5-2. So we had really a lot of fun during this Copa del Rey. So here you can see how we left our stadium in January 2020 at the right against Barcelona, and now our stadium is now. So no fan and no people, but of course we have to continue. We have to go on, and we have to give our partners events and contents and everything. So briefly, this is what we did, because the season 2021 and the year 2020 for us regarding partnership were really good, because we actually closed 2 big deals, 2 main sponsors during the 2020. One of them is Betson, and the other one is Sesderma. Our main partner, that is the heart of this project, is Power Electronics. So what we did during this time, we basically show how this company, especially Power Electronics, were reacting to COVID. For example, they are producing electronic chargers and components, and during the pandemic they started producing ventilators. And we show our fan and our followers how they were producing ventilators and how the company reacted to the COVID measure. With Betson, we basically had one entire day of shooting and creating content, because of course with this test, PCR and so on, this was the best thing to do. So fly them over with test and with all the COVID measure that we took, and in one entire day we basically filmed an entire season of content. And it's the same with Sesderma. We are activating in a different way. Basically, they are sending us product, and we are producing all the content here in the island with our players. We have the pleasure from this season to be the only Spanish football club with an official license on Football Manager. And 2 things that we are really proud of are, one, the partnership that we have with the Ibiza and Formentera Foundation. that basically it's one way for us to work and improve our corporate social responsibility. During the pandemic, we create campaigns to tell the people how to empower the green vision, let's say. And another thing that we are really proud of is that from this season and the next 4 season, we basically added 4 sports to our brand, to our project, to our club. There are UD Ibiza Volley, UD Ibiza Handball Club, UD Ibiza Futsal, and UD Ibiza Rugby, just to give support to all the sport movement and the sport entities here on the island. Last but not least of our initiative, during the pandemic, we created a program for all the employees and club members where people from their departments were explaining how the department was structured. So from trips, from commercial, from marketing, from every department of the club, and so during quarantine we were giving them classes, and it was really a good way to stay connected and to maintain this club spirit. So finally, just to give you an overview of what third division is and what and how difficult this season third division is. These are just clubs that this season they're at this time of the year they're not even competing for a spot, a place in second division. And these are clubs that are historical clubs from Spanish football, like Deportivo La Coruña, Hércules, Racing Club Santander, Recreativo de Huelva, and another big project like Marbella. So for this, we are really proud of what we are doing and what is like the season that we are doing. And here it's basically what we think that the new tendencies will be, for example, like what Chili's is doing through their app, to their fan token, using the blockchain technology to interact with fans and so on. So we will definitely take part in these new features, in these new tendencies. And we think that it's a really good way to engage with the fans. So thank you, Paulo, and thanks to everyone here. And hope that you have a clear overview now of what Ibiza is. And so follow us on social media to see what we are going to do in the next months and in the next future.
Amazing, Matthew. No, thank you very much to share with us what you guys been doing in Ibiza. It's clearly a very good work, and you've been leveraging different ways to engage with the fans, different ways to engage with the sponsors, just like to picking up some important message that you mentioned. You leverage the digital platform in different ways. For example, the case that you mentioned, the work with DAZN to amplify your guys' reach, also associating Ibiza with social cause during this like very delicate times. I think it's a very important message, and also helping the sponsors to show to the people, to a larger audience, what these companies are doing during the pandemic. And at the beginning, I think that there's an important thing to highlight as well, that there's an important opportunity for Spartan Race in Ibiza, And I would like to put this on tape that the students of our MBA should be an important part of that. So it's important to say to Massimo and to Angel to take this opportunity and leverage all the structure of our MBA, especially this labor force that we have in the MBA. I hope you guys liked this first part where Juan, Angel, and Massimo have shared with us their perspective, what they did during the pandemic, hosting events such as the Gasteis Sport Business Congress, helping the MBA going to the Basque Country under such delicate circumstances, but providing amazing experience to our students, managing the Spartan race during this important time, hosting an event in Andorra, and taking a look at the future and reshaping the business model, and also all the work that Ibiza did this last year and have been doing in the past year. So if you don't mind, I'd like to invite all of you three to answer some of the questions that people are sending us, and also some of the questions that I had prepared to you. So you guys have shared some of the delicate moments that you passed through the pandemic, how the fans, the clients, the customers, and sponsors have reacted during this time. But I would like to take a look at your work team. So I imagine that the same here in the university, there were a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of challenges to work during the pandemic. So what were the set of skills that your work team, your staff has shown during the pandemic that you'd like to highlight for our audience, thinking of that this audience can be in the future potential professionals? So what kind of set skills was important to you during this pandemic? If Angel, you'd like to start, then Juan, and we finish with Massimo.
Yep. Okay. Well, the first, if I have to highlight, I will go to three. The first one will be the attitude, right? I think that now we have found in these times, what kind of sometimes what we're made of, and so there are people who are proactive, some are reactive, and here we need proactiveness and being able to say, okay, this is it. We cannot change what is happening to us, but we can change how we take it and how we approach it. So that was, I will say that the first and number one, being willing and having an optimistic attitude towards this situation. The second, I would say, is adaptability. What we have learned is that we needed to adapt to something that we knew already and something that we didn't know. And this is about creativity. It's not about being an artist and being able to draw something nice. Creativity is finding new solutions to the same problems. And I think that now we needed to actually manage our own product, our own people, our own community, our own resources, and use them differently. And that adaptability and that creativity, I think it's been in our case, it's been a key element. And the third has been teamwork in communication. Usually here, you don't know what you're doing sometimes. You don't have a solution. Maybe you need to have somebody by your side who has a different approach. But if you don't communicate, you don't share, you don't work together, that will not change. This is not something that we can change by ourselves. This is not something like a one guy, one man show that can, hey, look, come to me, I know what we have to do. This is not it. So those three things, I think that have been the key elements that, from our perspective, this proactiveness, adaptability, and teamwork and communication. Those are the elements that have been proven to be the most useful in this situation.
Thank you very much, Angel. Juan, your take on it?
Well, to me, I totally agree with Angel, but I will also include one concept, which is no excuses. We have to put the excuse away. Easy door to don't do anything and to lose the proactivity. It's very easy to go to the excuse. We could use the pandemic as an excuse for not doing anything and just to wait the things coming. And I think we have to look for the things come through. So this is one point. And also I want to highlight the concept of teamwork. If you have the enthusiasm to convince your team that we have to go this line and we have to work hard to achieve and to get what we want, they are going to follow you. If you have that and you use the excuses, your team is not going to follow you and is not going to push the project in the way you want. And at the end, it's a mix of different things, but I think the action is a key in that. Call to action. We have to be active and be ready to work on the project we have.
Perfect one. Thank you. Massimo, your thoughts?
Yeah, I will be really fast because they almost said it all, but I would like to add that especially for the new people that would like to start a career in the sport business industry, what I think is that now, if before you had to be flexible, now you must be even more flexible because what people that work in sports know that there are no working hours, there are no timetables and everything, and especially in football. So even more now with all the video calls that you can have and all this smart working and so on. So the key for me it's to really be flexible and to adapt yourself what you have to do and what your tasks are, and not be every single day I have to do only this task and lose the focus on other things that can help you to improve.
Perfect, Massimo. Thank you very much. Taking a question from the chat, we have, and I think in some ways you guys already talked about, but if you can address as well, we have a question. What have been the main revenue streams for live sport events as an alternative for ticketing, since ticketing is one of the most important revenue streams, or like the subscriptions in the case of Spartan Race? What are the alternatives that you guys have been working on in order like to increase the revenues, or at least reduce the impact of COVID? Now we're starting backwards with Massimo, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's basically start creating a plan, let's say, to, of course, being able, as I told briefly before, to interact more with the fans using these new technologies that are so new nowadays, like, for example, what Chili's is doing with fan tokens and so on. So give the opportunity to fans to, for example, choose what will be the new team bus for the club, what will be the second kit for the club, what will be the lineup in a friendly match. I know it can sound strange, but there are already clubs that are doing these kind of things, and of course this could be one of the alternative revenues for us. And another big one, it's generating content, generating exclusive content behind the scenes and everything. And that's what I see in the short time, especially for football clubs, and all these other things related to engage and give the fan, let's say, premium treatment from his home and from his place. Because I don't think that in the short term we will be able to see full stadiums as we were seeing 1 year ago. I think that there will be a long process, and we will have to be really creative and to be fast thinking and fast learning, especially.
Perfect. Juan?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Yes. Uh,
Now I think you are on mute. If you can turn on your mic.
yes. Now.
Now we can. Now we can.
Yes. The thing is that I think this is very difficult. It's not easy. I think there is not a direct alternative. In case of revenues, I think there is no a direct way. It's a substitute. The challenge is not having this money, this revenue directly from the ticketing, is to have engaged the people for being back when possible. This is the challenge. The challenge is not maintaining the revenues; it's to maintaining the interest in your brand. And also trying to maintain the other lines that are related to the ticketing part, as can be the sponsorship, and can be the other relationship between companies and fans, and also the links in the social media, the sponsors and the fans. So the key is try to maintain the interest and no disconnect your brand from the people. This is the challenge in my approach. Well, the revenues is secondary.
Perfect. Angel, you have mentioned about this reshaping your business model.
Yes, exactly. Well, there are three main ways that we have approached this, since we didn't count on the events, and we were counting on the events in a way, but we just didn't know how big the events will be with this new COVID situation. So really what we have focused on, one is merchandising. We have a powerful brand, and usually what we did in Europe is merchandising will only happen in our events. And we didn't have a really big, online activity for merchandising. So we really invested on having these merchandising opportunities, this merchandising supply, and we have been able to multiply, the revenues by 10 times more revenues on merchandising. So that was one. The second was the data management. We have a huge community. We have that is engaged. This is something that we have been working. We invest a lot on this engagement, on content creation and everything. But as Juan says, to keep the interest, we have been able to actually link our values and our messages to the reality that we were going through. I mean, overcoming obstacles, we are an obstacle race, is just what we have been doing for the last year. So it was easy to link our brand and our activity to the experiences that we were living today in our houses. So being able to actually inspire and to create that will get engagement in the community, and if we are able to get that community engaged, that will probably, if we just manage the right way, we manage the data the right way, we will be able to give probably valuable or quality leads to some of our sponsors. We did a test in COVID times for BMW, for a brand, for a car brand, by which they were willing to have they defined what quality leads were. So X age with X income, with if they have a car that is 4 years or older, blah blah. So 3 or 4 different elements that will just create a quality lead. So and we did it just with some people from our races in Madrid. So it was segmented. People who were living in Madrid for the BMW, and we ended up with over 1,000 quality leads for BMW. That's a huge value. So we saw that there was an opportunity to have sponsors get involved with us without having events, but being able to provide something that they really need in that moment, right? So that was that's just an example of data management. We did it by all means in many other ways, but it worked. It worked nicely. And the third thing that we have done is a program which is kind of I will not say fidelity program because it goes way beyond that, but it's more having a special number of people in our community who, let's say that for them it's important that Spartan survives to all this issue, right? And the only way that we can just survive is in a model that we had where the cash flow is so important. We used to sell 9 months in advance, so we have the money way before the event happened, right? And that has changed completely. So we don't mean that we want to have all this cash flow that we have at the front, but maybe, but we need at least a little bit to be able to not die in the way. So some of these, let's say, very engaged. The most engaged people in the community. Everybody's is very engaged, but this small portion, around 1,000 and 1,500. Were willing to help and to create. We created a product that it works for them, where they realize that they can get a lot more for their money, but in exchange, what we need is their full commitment that they will help us to be here and to live while these COVID times are happening. So those were the 3 things: merchandising increase, different capitalization of the sports relationship, of the sponsors relationship, and the third thing is just creating a fidelity group that was willing to invest money, so their beloved brand stays alive while COVID stays with us.
Perfect, Angel. Thank you. Taking a question from the chat as well, and adapting to a question that I also have. COVID has imposed several changes very quickly. We needed to adapt and so on. Maybe there is a part of those changes that will stay after the pandemic. Was a matter of speeding up some of the trends that we were already seeing. What are the changes, or what are you doing differently from prior to the times of COVID that you think that will stay, will remain? Let me start with Juan.
Yes. Well, the one change which is going to stay is to have a specific protocols for accessing and more specific because in the top of mind of our people we are going to have they are going to have the need to feel that they are safe. So there is something that we need to provide in order to have the confidence from our fans our clients. So everything is going to be we are going to need to have everything in specific protocols. Also we are going to have the chance to work in scenarios because maybe we are going to have 50% attendance or 80 or 20, and then all these scenarios we need to have ready, and then the implementation between that between the fans and that, and finally the communications between the companies and the fans uh, needs to be more easy. So the channels need to be more direct and more dynamic. And I think this is going to we are going to need that in the future. This is going to stay.
Perfect. Angel, what do you think we gonna keep doing after pandemic?
I think that one of the things that is going to happen, and even it will be more and more evident as we go along, is that sport will be declared essential activity in every country, because I think they will be part of the health. That has happened in the community of Madrid, a few weeks ago. That now is happening, for example, in the government of Andorra. So sport will be an essential activity, not sport events, but sport. And I think that we will all have to understand this and to be at the level of this essentiality. The second thing that is going to happen, I mean, it goes with Juan's argument, is that we now will have enough information to be able to work on avoided uncertainty. And I think that that protocols will be set not only on the events, but also will be set by governments or institutions, in which they will regulate the audience, like he said. For example, now in Andorra now, they will divide this into the different red light, yellow light, and green light. So it depends on the pandemic situation. You will have more or less allowed. I mean, more or less people allowed in your event, but that will be said up front. I mean, if this happens, this will be it. So we will have to present, in our case, for example, 3 scenarios, and then they will have to confirm 2 weeks before, depending on the virus situation. So I think that that's something that is going to be very extended, and all the governments will be adapting that, and we will have to adapt for me to that into that situation. And then third, I think that we in the industry will have to adapt to. I mean, this virus is the first one, but most of people think that it will not be the last one. So that's something that we will have to understand, and we will have to just live with it. And the safer and the more that we're able to do our events physically, but also our management of our community and our fans and our digitally. I think that will be a huge increase on the digital activity in the world of sports.
Perfect. Massimo?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's mostly the same. First thing I will say, of course, is stadiums and facility. Before, there were security checking for, let's say, security reason at the entrance, not to introduce things and everything in the stadiums. Now you must have security in the stands during the matches, checking that everyone has his or her mask on, put on properly, and so on. So I think that in the stadiums and in the facilities, we will see big changes. Also, maybe more safe standings instead of seats, and this kind of things, because you can have more distance, more space, and so on. But I mean, it's just an opinion. And then other two things that I think, it's one is of course the interaction with the fans, because as a football club, you have to give them an identity. You have to give them a sense of belonging to the club. And it's really easy when you can sell, let's say, the stadium that is full, that has a super atmosphere. And one thing that we said, we are the only industry that can sell emotions. And if you if you cannot go to the stadium, or half of your fans can go to the stadium, it's really difficult. So we will have to find a different way to interact with the fans during the week, and especially during the match day, because the match day before were our core moment, let's say. And now it's difficult, because you have an empty stadium, and you have to keep generating this sense of belonging. And another one that I would say, it's the relation that you have with your partner, and the relation that you will have looking for new partners. Because this morning I was having a meeting, and they were telling me, like, now we don't want to sponsor. We want to help and participate in action of corporate social responsibility, of showing support to, for example, restaurants and bars that now are struggling, and so on. So I think that our commercial teams should find really creative solutions to approach new sponsors, and to give them new way in order to activating the partnerships.
Perfect, Massimo. Thank you. Just to connect with your last part about the commercial department, we got a specific question to you, Massimo, but I would like to extend to Angel and to Juan as well. How a smaller or a more specific sport entity, the case of Massimo is a third division club in Ibiza, can fight with like global sport brands or sport entities in an environment that definitely there is less money. So what are your thoughts, starting with Massimo, that, for example, in the case of Ibiza, but in the case of other clubs and other entities, smaller companies can fight sponsor-wise, fan engagement-wise, with like the global sport brands?
I mean, as I said before, we are really lucky, because we have something that no other club, especially football club in the world, has. That is the name Ibiza. And so we can give the fan, the local fan, but we can give also the international fan something that is difficult to compare with another club, especially in third division. But I would say even in second division, and in some cases, if you take out the big clubs, it's the same thing. What they can do, what we can do, I think it's something that you have basically to be curious, and be, as I said, a fast learner, and think out of the box. Think in something that no one was doing, or it was risky. So now maybe it's time to risk, because you have no other chances. I mean, you have to you have to keep on doing what you were doing. So I mean, we really believe in the interacting with the fans with the digital asset that we have. So I would say that this is one of the core businesses that every sport entity should do and should improve.
Perfect, Massimo. Thank you very much. Angel, you are sitting in a different chair. You are sitting in the global sport entity chair, but you also need to negotiate a lot locally. So, what are your thoughts? How smaller entities can like keep fighting in this environment?
Well, I am not in that different chair because we are a licensee and we have to work. I mean, we have license here and we have to work here. And actually, Spartan in the beginning they have no sponsorship. We had Reebok, for example, but it was a global partnership. We didn't have anything from them income-wise. What is true is that Reebok is a huge brand and actually positions yourself in a place where other brands might be willing to share the space. However, the answer to that question will be, I think that is becoming easier and easier every day. I think that brands are willing to work at the local level because they know that they will have to sell at the local level. They're looking for segmentation. They are looking for quality leads. They are looking for quality activities where they can share a true relationship. I think that we are way ahead. We are far from a global and non-true, and let's say vague relationship. They want true relationship. And like Massimo was saying, this is an emotions. I mean, sports is an industry that we sell emotions, art or music also, but we have a huge opportunity to go into the heart of the people. So if I have to give an answer to that one, will be just have a true personality and share it. I mean, you need to define yourself, to be true to yourself, to your traits, to what you are. And what you are is not only what you do at the event, it's what you communicate on social networks, it's what kind of content you create. It's also what kind of people work with you, what kind of partners have with you. Just to give you an example, we had initially we have Powerade as one of our initial sponsors, and we just concentrated on working on the health. Being focused on health. Health and sugar sometimes don't get along very well. So we have to actually give out the sponsorship of Powerade because of our commitment with health. And we went to water, coconut water, which will give us less money, but will position our personality on our commitment with health. That opened really a huge window of other brands who were interested in health and our true commitment with health. And that really changes the whole thing. I think that if you define your personality, now we have the chance to actually share with the world our personality through the digital channels that we have, and we are true to them. I think that would be probably the thing to do sponsorship wise. And then as you make a bigger event, you will have access to bigger brands. But working at the local level or the regional level or the national level is something that can be done once you define yourself and you are true to your roots and your value proposition and your brand proposition.
Very good, Angel. Thank you. Juan, you are in touch with different sport entities on daily basis. What are your thoughts? How they can cope with these fights, these competitions around money and so on?
Yes. Well, I think, as Angel said, global brand also wants local leads and local work, and finally we can be a speaker of these global brands. And in our congress we have this year the example of Coca-Cola, which is one of the most global brands in the world. Yeah, they are our sponsor. Our event or even is a small event, very local. So, but as we are having different key persons from the sport industry, they want to be there. This segmentation is interesting for them. So, for that reason, we interest them. So we can work directly with global brands because I think every small company has their own possibilities, and the relationship and the understanding between the brands and the sponsors and the local brand or the local events is very important for building this relationship, because at the end, who is the one who is buying a Coke, whatever? It's a regular person everywhere. So we need to impact them. So at the end, global brand also need a small market, and we can providing them a good solution. We need to hear them and having a good relation and good communication with the sponsors.
Perfect, Juan. Thank you very much. We are going towards the end of our sections, guys. So I would like to thank you a lot. Just one final questions from our end. It's more about the kind of audience we are having today and tend to watch us. Most of them are willing to work in this amazing industry that we are all working on. And what piece of advice you could provide them in order to get this opportunity? I would like to highlight that the education and trying to get more information, more knowledge during this kind of event. Of course, Real Madrid Graduate School is a place exactly to enhance these kinds of opportunities. But I would like to listen to you what piece of advice you'd give for those want to be professionals in the sport industry. Let me start with Angel.
Okay, well, one of the things that I can say is that half of our staff in Spain is coming from the school. So really, one of the things is that please sign up for the school. It's not a marketing or a publicity, but it's true. It's true, and it's not because it is it's a good school, which it is, but mainly is because the approach taken is the right one. You know, just when you try to find your purpose, sometimes you don't know exactly what you want in life, but but if you don't know your purpose, then you have to go where your passion is, and then and those of you who want to work in the world of sports is probably because you're passionate about it. So the passion is the first one. Not just go there because there's money to be made, but is be there because you're passionate about sports. So that will be first. The second, which I will say is, this joke of this guy going to an island, two people, they were selling shoes, right? And they went to sell the shoes, and they saw that people in the island were not wearing shoes. They were, from the tribes and everything. And they said, one called to their office and said, "Hey, bad news, no one is wearing shoes," And the other guy called to the office and said, "Hey, excellent news, no one is wearing shoes. We can sell them all," So in the world of sports, I think that we are in a similar situation. I think that even though the industry has grown, but has grown very, very fast, I think that there's a lack of professionals in the world of sports. There's a lot of amateurs managing things, that way. I'm glad to see Massimo now at Ibiza, third division team who had professional people taking it to a next level. That's something that is not so likely. It's very unlikely. So that's the good news. The good news is that professional people are entering there, but there's a huge opportunity because there are not that many professional people in the world of sports. And the third thing is that I think that people need a wake-up call. It's about getting in there and show the value that you can add to the industry. And it's not that because you have an MBA, you will go there and, hey, here's my job. People will be willing to hire me, and that will not happen. So it's just being involved in those projects that you think that catch you. And that's why the MBA is a nice, showcase where you will see everything, and then say, okay, this is the route that I want to take, and it's I think it's an easy access to work in events or in clubs or events like the one in Vitoria. But once you are there, the route is easier because it's on you. It's if you do well, you will grow. And I think that's about it. I mean, it's a huge opportunity for people who want to work. It's a horrible place for people who think that just because they have done an MBA, they will have a lifetime job. That, as Massimo said at the beginning of this conversation, there's no timetables, there's no schedule, there's no anything. Just work on your passion. Otherwise, you will be left out.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. Juan? I think it's your...
From my part?
Now, we are listening to you.
Yes. From my part, for sure, as alumni of the school 12 years ago, every year the industry is willing to have more and more professional people, and the school is the perfect access to have a high level education and also to open the perfect doors to start rolling in the industry. I think this is I am professor of the school 8 years ago, something like that, and every year the level is going high and high and high. The students every year are better, and the school is having more and more opportunity to provide job opportunities in the sport industry to each student. So this is the signal to feel that the school is injecting professional in an industry which is getting more professional profiles year by year. And now the clubs, the sport companies, the schools, the races, the sponsors, everybody is looking for profiles with expertise in sport, and there is not a lot because the sport management, like a topic, I think has a lifetime of 15 years ago, something like that. So there is a lack, and there is a lot of people in the industry with no background in the sport in matter of education. So this is the chance, perfect chance to link in that. Okay.
Perfect, Juan. Thank you very much. Massimo, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, how I cannot say to study and to take this amazing opportunity of taking part of this huge MBA. If I did it and I fully enjoyed, and as I always said, it was the best year of my life for everything that we were able to experience and live. But apart from that, I would say be passionate and be humble. Don't be afraid to create projects on your own, and don't get tired to sending emails to other people, to reach out to contacts, to do phone calls, to invest a lot of hours in all of these things, because I think that this is the only way that people can have to enter in the industry with education, with a lot of our invested in new project, new idea, and everything that is related. And at the same time, don't think that because you're not there, the one that is there isn't doing a good job. So try to improve what they are doing, and try to think out of the box. That's what I would say.
My microphone is working now. Can you hear me?
Now, yes. Now, yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So basically, I would like to thank you all for this amazing panel event that we hosted today. The deepness of the discussion was amazing. Having the opportunity to listen to these three very strong professionals of the sport industry. I think we all enjoyed a lot. I hope you at home has enjoyed as well. Angel, Juan, Massimo, thank you very much once again for all the collaborations with our MBA. I'm sure that people that watch it are now eager to come to Madrid and have the opportunity to meet you all in person in your classes and all the collaborations that we have together. For those of you connected, I would like to thank you. The patience with us is almost 2 hours connected, and that's it. Thank you for the marketing team also to organize this very good event. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.